Season 135 of the ukulele, songs about your pets. I apologise, I've been gone for like a few weeks at least. Good to see Benjamin, who's made it to the forums and even made a Seasonista entry on his first post. Cracking stuff with oodles and oodles and oodles. And if you've managed to make time for it, I suppose I best add as well. Jess has, I won't say made, has suggested that I write this song about her fish that died a year ago. He meant a lot to her. They spent a long time together. They both went through a lot, and I'm going to give it a go. So this is The Tale of AndBob. Quick itch of the moustache before we begin. There was once a fish, his name was AndBob, but he was far less of a fish and more of a sea god. He outlived his brothers and his scales turned from black to gold, and now his tale will be told. He was one of three, Bob, and AndBob, but it was plain to see that this fish would rule the mob. He once had bladder problems and spent a week swimming upside down, but he recovered and set out to rule the town. The three brothers had happiness until fate came and took it. As their world was wiped clear, they were placed in a big black bucket. Now this bucket had rocks and sand. It was like a darkened beach, but the darkness grew thicker than the residual bleach was on the inside of the bucket. The bucket was still tainted, and Bob and Bob both died that day. But AndBob refused to quit, for her he would stay. He moved on with his buyer, and she shared with him her wishes, as his brothers were flushed and swam with the fishes. Now he was trained up by his buyer, and his tricks would never fail. Whenever he was fed, he would follow her finger trail. He'd buy her, she moved a lot, but he was always home, and his tank, always he would roam. On his last daring escape, he fled in a car seat. He still survived in his tank, even over the cobbled street. The water from his home still lingers in that car, and it was sold by Pink Flask before she moved so far. Miss you. Then he came into my home, the mighty AndBob. He lived another year until I heard Jess sob. Though he outlived his brothers and his scale turned from black to gold, poor AndBob, he died in his tank, alone and old. His buyer talks of him now, and his legend still lives on. She even made me tell his tale, even though that he's long gone. We hope him all the best. So long, and I hope, mighty AndBob, you liked my song. Hopefully no one will notice I stole a riff at the start. But yeah,